Hello, all. This is Michael. Welcome to New Victory Gardening. Here we are, late in the game, but planting garlic. This fall was one of the warmest falls in memory, and so because of that, there was just no pressure at all to get into planting garlic. Normally, I like to have this done by mid to early November, but in this instance, it was so warm that I ended up waiting till after Thanksgiving. And so I usually plant two varieties. One there is called Music, and this other one is called Medici, however you say that. I must have grown, or at least tried to grow, I don't know, maybe 10 or more different varieties. If you're getting into garlic or you want to give it a try, it's actually an extremely easy crop to grow, and in my opinion, it will make your whole life better because you can have fresh garlic or you can have cured garlic, and the flavors are just a little bit different between the two, and it's such an excellent like seasoning to have around the house, and it's really easy to grow. And so elephant garlic is a good place to start. It's hardy, but it's not strong. You know, you could eat it. It doesn't have the spice or the flavor of the other garlics. I guess that's why they kind of only halfway consider it to be a garlic. But anyway, it's the easiest to grow. It's the one I had the easiest time growing in this climate. But then I branched out and grew Spanish Roja. I branched out into Boy I planted the softneck variety that you get in the grocery store. I've just planted any of them you could get at a store in the local area. I've planted, and then I special ordered a few. And actually, Music I've only grown recently. It has huge cloves and is a real good storing garlic, and so I was really happy to get it. It's excellent flavored, and I guess that's why it is sold out, because before I didn't get it because it was always sold out. And so when I finally did, I always kept some around. And it's a good garlic too if you want to just keep it in the fridge after you cure it, and it'll actually last until the next planting season, and so you can start to generate some of your own like garlic clove seed. And so strangely enough, the process for planting garlic is really not that complex. And so I'll show you the first row that I have done here. And as you can see, you just dig out. I used a hoe to dig. Get my dog out of there. He loves garlic too.
Short.
That's the problem. But anyway,
Get on out of here.
you dig out a row. I'd say about 2 to 3 inches down, maybe 3 to 4 inches down, depends on your soil condition and where you are. And you just space the cloves out. I think they ask for a 6-inch spacing. For me, I just could never follow directions that good, so sometimes I'll space them 4 inches, or sometimes I'll space them wider. Just depends on which garlic variety I'm growing, but I want to get as much in this bed as I can, and so usually it's probably about a 5-inch spacing. And I count how many so that I know how many heads of garlic I put into this bed, and that way I'll know how many sprouted and if I had what rate of sprouting I had. And since they're a bulb, they sprout really well, and so you bury that in, and there you go. Right, pretty straightforward. I've just kind of fast forwarded my way through 3 rows of planting garlic, and it's really simple. Like it's funny how sometimes the simpler plantings yield some of the best stuff, like some of your favorite stuff. I don't know. Do you like have a favorite vegetable or a favorite something besides tomatoes that you like to plant? It's funny, but I always just do this planting as a chore, and it's usually pretty straightforward. And so all you have to do is separate the cloves out. So you get a head of garlic and you separate each individual clove and do your best to like keep the papery outside on every clove. It's not the end of the world if you don't. And then just assess them to make sure they're still living, like they haven't dried out, there's no disease on them. they aren't scarred or damaged. Like sometimes you'll get cloves that have fungus growing on them, like a mold, and you want to discard those. And then, you know, go into your bed that you're going to plant them in, and you know, plant them and bury them back in. And you see that one right there is a recruit. So I had garlic growing in a row close to the edge, and I didn't get it all out, and so that one held over and is sprouting out in season here, right? Which is normal. If you live in colder climates, you get your garlic and you do still plant it, and you want to plant it early enough so that it has time to set its roots. So you would be planting maybe in late September or October. The garlic will start to germinate and grow underground, and then when the freeze hits, you just want to make sure you've done what I'm doing here, which how to improve your garlic, right, is use mulch. And so in this case, and this year, I'm using good compost. And so my goal with this is not to walk where the garlic is growing. So I'm going to walk around the edges of this bed, and I'm going to walk where I know I've marked the rows with wooden tabs. And so I'm going to walk where I know the garlic has not been planted. That way the soil stays as loose as possible around my sprouting and germinating garlic cloves. And so they have plenty of room to grow, and they're bedded in. You know, you lay on 3 to 4 inches of compost like this, and you know, they'll be in a really nice bed and protected from the weather, like protected from the winter season, but still having enough time to kind of sprout those roots in preparation for spring. If you live in a warmer climate like me, the garlic is actually going to come up. So I'll put this in the ground, and by January it will already be sprouting. Some seasons it starts sprouting at the end of December, but it'll already start poking up, and it doesn't freeze hard here. And so the garlic is able to just kind of grow. That, I think, is part of the reason why the garlic heads get really big, is because they have a longer growing season in warmer climates. So once you kind of find and match the variety that grows best in your area, growing garlic is really simple, and I've become so fond of it that garlic is pretty much the only thing I grow in this bed. So I grow this bed with garlic, and then I give it a rest. Pests don't like garlic, so usually it's left alone. Birds and things don't mess with garlic. They don't like it. And so it's like, wow, you get all this bang for your buck out of a crop that's relatively easy to plant and relatively easy to grow. Garlic is something to love, right? You love this plant as you grow it, and it rewards you. You can eat it fresh, you can cure it and eat it over the season, you can make garlic butters, you can infuse garlic oils, you can give it to friends that love garlic. There's just so much you can do. To me, it makes your life better. And so there you go. It's a planting. I put my little watering system down, which is the last piece. You don't really have to water garlic, even in a dry, warm climate like mine's zone 9. Because garlic grows through the winter and into the spring, it's the rainy season. And so I only sparingly have to water garlic. So you get all of that benefit, and you don't even have to water it at all in most seasons, or just a little bit towards the end of its growing cycle if we have a drier, warmer spring. And so that's me just separating. I separated out all the garlic cloves that were too small to grow, or else they had some damage. And then I just kind of mulch again with the remaining fluffy stuff. Take the garlic seed that I didn't use in and eat it, because it's excellent eating stock. And there it is. All right, next video. Y'all take care. That is garlic 2024-25. Peace out.